This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we start then. Now, Nexus is something which will help you to manage binaries and build artifact across the software supply chain. So basically what happens is, if you see on a broad basis, see down only, they'll have something. Yeah, this is the one. Now, what happens is when you're building a CI/CD pipeline, now remember one thing, Nexus was not built keeping CI/CD in picture, but then it became one of the very integral part in the CI/CD pipeline. So basically what happens is there is a list of languages which it will support, starting from npm, C, Conda, Java, JavaScript, Python, Docker, RPM, Go, Helm. So there are a lot of languages which it supports. So basically what happens, it says that developers go ahead and write your code. When you write your code, you will obviously go and put it, or you will store it in some central code repository. So this is the code, the actual code, and then it goes to CI, where some Jenkins tool like Jenkins will start doing all the build and test, and then it will go to production environment accordingly. Now this is the CI track, or this is my CI/CD track. Where does this Nexus comes from? So now what happens is when you choose to compile your code, okay, many a times the compiled version or the artifacts. So let me say in my case the var, the once you once you write the code, that is known as source code. You have written the code in some programming language, that is source code. Once you compile the code, that is a machine readable code. It can be .var, .exe, .npm, .py, like that. So that kind of file, we go ahead and store it in Nexus. Why? Today, let me say you have promoted a new version of the code and you have moved it to production environment, and there it has failed. Now you need to revert back. You will say, yes, I have the code, I will compile it again, and I will get the executables again, and I will move it here. But many a times in production environment, there may be 100,000 of codes like that. You can't sit and do compilation again and again of each code. Okay. Moreover, you have to revert the code and then you have to do compilation. So many a times you may not get that buffer time to do all these things. So what you do is all the artifacts, all the executables, you keep it in Nexus. And at any point of time when you need it, you simply say, I want it, and you can pull it from Nexus directly to your Jenkins. In my example, it is Jenkins. And there is where Nexus comes into picture. So Nexus is an artifact repository, and with the help of that, you can build artifact, store artifact, and also deploy it. Okay. Now it is integratable with almost all the tools available in the market, Jenkins being one of the most commonly used. It supports almost all the programming languages. You can integrate with Java ecosystem. So inside Java, you will have Ant, Gradle, Maven. Then it is compatible with your Eclipse, IntelliJ, Jenkins, Docker. Okay. So basically, this is, it will control the binary and build the artifacts. So we don't use it to build artifacts because Jenkins is already doing it for me, but you can control the binaries or you can store the artifacts here basically. Okay, so then they talk about the cost and all. So if you go for pro version or you go for the normal version, what all benefits you get. Apart from that, you can also do the same thing what Sonar Cube was doing for you. But again, as I told you, each tool, though it can do multiple things, they are only used for one particular item. So nobody is using this for telling how much vulnerability and all is there. So they use this only for creating your repository. So we will also create a repository like this, and we will see how to do and how to work with this. Okay. So if you want in locally, you can take a free trial and you can start working with that. But I don't want to go this way. Rather, I want to go in Docker's way. So if I go by Docker's way, so I will go to hub.docker.com, and in hub.docker.com, I will say Sonatype Nexus. So Sonatype is the company and Nexus is the product. Okay, so you have Sonatype Nexus 3, you have Sonatype Nexus, and both are like same only but different versions. So let me say this was updated 3 months back, this is updated recently. Let me go with this. So it says if you want to work with this, what do you want? You want to run this command first. Then there are some prerequisites. So if you see Sonar, your Nexus runs on port number this. So I need to enable this port first thing. Then there are some prerequisites. And one of the prerequisite is that the RAM should be minimum 2 GB or more than that. Okay. And you should have Java installed on that. So we will do all these things. So I'll launch an instance basically. Okay, let me, Docker is there. Okay, I will launch a new instance. Okay, and I am saying that to run Nexus you need minimum 2 GB. Okay, so we will choose something which is not T2 micro, it is something big. So I need minimum 2 GB of RAM, so I'm taking T2 small. Again, when you are practicing this, it will take you out of free tier and it will cost you money. So when you're practicing, you please be careful that once you're done, just close that. So T2 micro, 2 GB, next. Then here I am not changing anything. 8 GB, whatever they are giving me, I'm okay with that. Then you can add a tag. The tag can be anything. Just say like this, name, and the name is Nexus repository, something like this. In security group, I am going to choose the previous security group, which is basically this, which I have been using till now, but I will also make a change here. Okay, if you, I have already done that change, but still when you are doing, make sure that you add this port number 8081. Enable the port, enable port 8081. Similarly, you would have enabled it for your this thing. We had our Sonar Cube. So for Sonar Cube, you enabled 9000. Similarly, you have to enable port number 8081 for your Nexus. Once that is done, go ahead, review and launch. During launch, say that yes, I have this key value pair. Done. So now let's wait for the instance to get up and running. So I'm saying that when the instance is up and running, the first thing which you would like to do is connect to the instance. Let me connect to the instance. I have the IP. So putty EC2 minus user at the rate the IP. I'll change the appearance a bit. I'll make it bigger, bold 14. Okay. SSH auth open. Yes, I want to connect. I become a root user, sudo su hyphen, and I told I will need Java here. So I will say yum install Java. Okay, and Java was a 1.8 star. Now I have to run a Docker command here. So I will also need Docker. So Docker -y. Now it will take some time and it will install Java and Docker for me. So meanwhile, when it is installing, I will come to you guys and I'll ask if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, please go ahead and ask till now whatever we have discussed. Guys, any
The
questions?
main purpose of Nexus is only to maintain the artifacts, right?
Yes. See,
Okay.
if you remember, I showed you this thing. There are other features also. You can do many things apart from this. But so let me come here. So if you see, it says, or let us come here. So Nexus, what Nexus does. So it says Nexus is a repository manager. It allows you to proxy, collect, and manage your dependencies so you are not constantly juggling with your jars. So here, if you see the definition, definitely it says that it is a tool to collect and manage your dependencies or your artifacts. But apart from that, there are other things which can be done. People don't use it for that purpose. People only use it for your artifact, this thing, what do you say, keeping the artifacts. That's it. So people, many people will say Nexus Artifactory. Any more questions?
No, Vikas.
Okay, so meanwhile the installation is done. So let me check. Second. Okay, so Java is installed for me. Let me check whether Java is there or not. So Java minus version. Yes, I have Java. Docker minus version. Yes, I have Docker. I will start Docker. So I will say service Docker start. So started. This time I'll see the status. So it is running. Let me clear this. If I say Docker images, currently I'll not see anything. So I will pull one image. So one image is nothing but this image. So Docker pull this thing. Control C. I have one image ready for me now. Once this image is available, I would like to create a container out of that. So to create a container, I have this command. So, okay, so I have, if I say Docker images, I can see this Sonar type Nexus 3 latest. With this, I would like to create a container. So Docker ps minus a. As of now, I don't have, but now I will have one. So if I say Docker ps minus a, I have one, and it is opening at port number 8080 Now I have to see whether it is up and running or not. So for that, I have a command called docker logs minus f, and I'm using Nexus 3, right? Nexus 3. It's saying, okay, Nexus. The name is Nexus. So it will take some time, and it is like running in the background, but it will take some time. And once all the activity is done, I will get a message saying that uh, Nexus is up and running. So it will take some time. Generally 2 to 3 minutes is what it will take. And because it is bit heavy, that's why I need T2 small. T2 micro will not work here. Basically, the minimum requirement says 2 GB RAM, and Java should be installed. So we'll wait. So schedule put into, we got a message started Sonar type Nexus. So it is started. It is up and running now. Okay. How do I check? So I'll come back to my EC2 instance. This is my Nexus. This is the content. And let me go here. 8081 is the port. And this is Nexus for me. And it is running. It will take some time again. And if you see here, it's a brand new screen for me, and I have to start my work. Now I need to sign in. Now if I need to sign in, it says you will get the password here, this place. Okay, and to get the password, I'll go inside that place. So Control C from here. I I want to go inside the container, because inside the container this path is there. Nexus data admin dot password. Okay, so how to go inside the container? So to go inside the container, I have command docker exec minus it and name of the container, which is Nexus, or the container ID to be precise. So I will say docker ps minus a. This is the container ID. So I'll say docker exec I minus it and bash. So now I go inside the container. Now see, if you see bash -4, I'm inside the container. Okay. Now it is saying you can find your password inside Nexus data and admin password. So Control C, CD and ls minus L. So you will see something called admin password. Say cat.
Just can you give PWD?
One second. You are inside Nexus data. So basically you are inside your container. You have moved inside your container with this command. When you give this command, no, you come inside your container.
Okay.
Okay, so this is my password basically. See, this is the password. This entire thing. Or just let me yes minus L. This is the password. Make sure you don't copy this thing, the spaces and all. And back here, so it says your admin your admin user password is this, but the username is admin, ADMIN, and the password is this, control V, sign in. Okay, save it. Do you want to set up your wizard? Next. Do you want to reset your password? Okay, I will do it. Let me make it this is admin123, admin123. Next. Anonymous access, no, I don't want. Finish. Update password, done. So this is Nexus for you. Now Nexus is majorly used to keep or store your artifacts. So where will you store your artifacts? So there is something called, come here on the settings, there is something called a repository. Click here. It will bring you to a page like this where different types of repositories can be stored. You can create your own repository. Say I create a repository, and let me say I will say this is Maven skin 2. So I will create something like this, Maven 2 hosted. Give a name. Name can be anything. Dev. What do you want to keep here? Do you want to keep the release, snapshots, or mixed? Anything can come here. So if you remember, let me come back. Let me come back to Jenkins basically. This is Jenkins. Okay. Meanwhile, it is opening. Let me come back here again. So I say it's a mixed, means I will also keep the release. I'll also keep the snapshot. Layout policy strict means in whatever format they are keeping, means Jenkins is keep in that format only. So strict. Okay, wait. So permissive, it is permissive. Permissive means validate all the path that Maven artifact or metadata is keeping. So it is permissive. Storage is default. Then currently the deployment is disabled redeployment. So I will say enable allow redeployment, because I would like to redeploy from here in case there is an emergency. That's it, I guess. Just say create a repository. That's it. So repository dev is created. Now if you want, you can click here and you can see the repository. Similarly, you can come here, repository, sorry, this one. So now if you say browse, you can see the repository. So currently nothing is there. So I just came here, browse, dev. So in my repository, currently nothing is there, but my setup from Nexus is done. I would go to Jenkins now and try to do the setup from there. So for that, I have to go to my Jenkins machine. This is my Jenkins machine. Come here. It is admin 123. Oh, sorry. Admin. Okay. So never. Okay. Now here, like if you remember yesterday, to make Jenkins understand Nexus, I have to install a plugin. So let me go to manage Jenkins, manage plugins, and look for a plugin which will help me to upload the artifacts via Jenkins, because Jenkins job will run and Jenkins will do all the hard work for me. So for you it will be in available, but for me I have already installed it, so it is there in installed section for me. What is that? So there is something called Nexus artifact uploader. Nexus, see, so I have this plugin which says Nexus artifact uploader. This plugin will upload the artifact to Nexus repository. So you have to install this plugin. Once you have installed this plugin, you can come back to your dashboard, come back to manage Jenkins, configure system. Same like what we did yesterday. Control F. Okay, here you don't have anything. Back. Global tool configuration. Okay, leave this. Back to dashboard. Okay, let me build a new job. So let me say Nexus artifact uploader. Okay, it will be a Maven project, but I had created one in past, so I'll take a reference of that, but I'll show you what am I doing. Okay, okay, let's start from the top. So you come to general, you give a statement here. So you say this job is for Nexus artifacts uploading, something like this. Then I will come to the next section, which is source code management. In source code management, I'm using the same program which I have been using all these days. You're free to use any program, not a hard and fast rule. Any SCM can be used. Then next is build triggers, nothing to change here. Build environment, again nothing to change here. Pre-steps, same what we used to. It's not pre-steps, nothing. Build, just give this clean install package, which we always do. Then in post steps, there is where you have to make a change. Okay, so let me tell you what change you have to make. Come here. In post build step, if you click here, you will see an option Nexus artifact uploader. Nexus artifact uploader. Click on this. It will ask, it will start asking you questions. Nexus details, from where would you like to go and keep your artifacts? So I am using Nexus 3. The protocol can be HTTP or anything. And Nexus URL, where is your Nexus? So my Nexus URL is here, 8081. Okay, then credentials. So if you remember, last time I created credentials for Sonar Cube. This time I'll create credentials for my this thing. So it says must not start with HTTP HTTPS. Okay, fine, I will remove this. So now I need to give the credentials. So if you remember, Jenkins. So here the username, if you remember, is admin, ADMIN, and the password I changed it to ADMIN123. ID you can mention why you are using this. So you can say Nexus artifact. This is, you can give any name, and the same name you can give it here. Add, choose that. What happened? Okay, this is the one. Then group ID, version, and repository. Now the repository will be dev. If you remember, this is dev. The repository I've created is dev. Then okay, group ID can be anything. You can give any name. Okay, so let me say Devops. Version is basically when you build. When you build, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So I want to use that only. So there is a global variable for this, which is known as build number. Done. So let me check if I've done it correctly till now. Nexus 3 HTTP, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. Okay. So till now I have done it correctly. Then next is artifacts. Add. Now artifact ID. So web app. Okay. Artifact ID. Where will you find your artifact? So I am finding it at web app. I'll show you this again. Wait, web app, or let me just show you again now only. How come I'm filling these details? So take execution of any job. Okay, go to workspace. So if you see this carefully, this is the place where your contents are located. Web app. So I gave web app here. Web app. Web app. Then type what type of file you get. So at the end, the executable which you get, which is inside target, so you get a web app.war. So I want this war file, so I gave this war. Then classifier, leave it as it is. File is this web app target web app.war. Where do I get this? Web app target web app.war is the place where, or is the actual artifact which I want to save. So come back here. Done. Everything is done. So let me remove the top one. So let me come back again. So this is Nexus 3 HTTP. This is the Nexus URL, which is this. Then I created the username, password. I gave DevOps, build number, devs, and the actual path where your artifact is. It is there in web app inside target folder web app.war, and the extension is war. Done. Apply, save, and if everything is correct, this job should run fine and it should go and populate this. Let me see if I have done this correctly or not. So let me say build now, and let me go inside and see what is happening. Console output. Okay, so it is running my job. Test is happening. Okay, now if you see carefully, it is saying uploading artifacts web app.var started. The group ID is what I gave, which is DevOps. The artifact ID is web app, and it is saying I am uploading the content here. If you remember, 3.87.139.89 is my this IP basically. So let me refresh this. Great. So if you come back to your repository, this is your repository. You see this content got uploaded here, and it is first build, so it got uploaded with version as 1, and it is still connecting only, but this thing got uploaded as version 1. So you can come to your repository, dev. This is what you had created. I want to browse the repository, so I click on this, browse. Which repository you want to check? Dev. So I have all the content here. So basically the web app var is here, inside web app folder, inside DevOps. Okay. Meanwhile, it is still running. The other steps are running. Basically, the Nexus step which I had given has run, and it has stored the artifact to the place where I had told it. So guys, are you okay with this? The only thing is you need to practice. So you have to practice that. There's no shortcut to that. If you practice, you will be comfortable with that. So this has ended unstable. I'm okay with that because my intention was not to run the other step, but so let me come again, configure. I'll run it again. I'll show you that when I run again, it will go with another version of the same content. So basically it is trying to run this and it is failing. So I'm first build is unstable, but I got the content. So my intention was this, I got it. Second time I'm running it again. I'll go to the console output. Okay, again if you see, it says that I was uploading the artifact and version 2 got uploaded here. So inside web app 2 is a folder, and inside that I have put all the content. Okay, let me go and check. So this is version 1 which you did sometime back, and this is version 2 which is the latest version. So every time when you change your code, so currently I'm not changing anything, right? I'm running it like that only. So maybe my version 1 and version 2 will be same, but in production environment, when you go ahead and you change it multiple times, every time you change the code, so maybe that you are doing some change, and because of that change the production is getting affected, so you have to revert the change. So you can simply take these executables and put it back to production environment. Okay, so with this I complete your this thing, Nexus Artifactory. Tomorrow we'll start with Nagios. Okay, so please do takes some time and go ahead and practice it. Okay, because it is very important that when I teach, you also practice the same. Okay, I'll share the content with you. Any doubt while practicing or any problem while doing the hands-on, just get in touch with me. Okay, so this is all I have. Any questions, please let me know. So if there are no questions, I'll close it and we'll meet tomorrow again. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay, fine then. Bye bye.